So, I was not expecting this trailer to come out today. Honestly, I was expecting it to come out soon, but like tomorrow or sometime in the rest of the week. But I was not expecting a full-ass trailer for your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man to come out today. Like, has anyone thought of, like, news dropping on Sunday that wasn't, like, a Comic-Con kind of day? Like, was anyone expecting that? Almost feels like Disney just wanted to throw this out here with very little fanfare. And the show this is the first trailer we got. I thought we were going to get a trailer about, like, November or something, like, to hype it up. At least X-Men 97 got a trailer, like, a month in advance. This is just, like, we are a little over a month away, because the show comes out, I believe, January 29th, and I gotta be honest, I know what you're probably thinking, is like, oh, it probably means you didn't like the trailer or have bad feeling for the show. I think this is already, I do enjoy the show. I really do think this is going to be a solid Spider-Man show. Now, let's get this out of the way right now. The big thing that we have to talk about with this series is that we really got to put our mindset of, this is not going to be Spectacular Spider-Man. This is not going to be the 90s cartoon Spider-Man. This is going to be its own thing. All I ask is that it's better than whatever the hell those other two Ultimate Spider-Man and the Spider-Man series afterwards. Those Spider-Man cartoons were so low effort, it was unfun. But yeah, I actually already kind of, when I was watching the trailer, I was like, damn, I already enjoy this. I already like where we're going with this, and hopefully I can actually keep an episode review schedule, unlike I did with Creature Commandos. Yeah. So I will make this promise here and now that I will be doing episode reviews of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man on Patreon. I make you that promise now, because like I totally missed the train on Creature Commandos, and I was going to do like catch-up reviews, and I was like, oh, I can't even bother. So I'm gonna hopefully I can start for I will start fresh with Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man episode reviews on Patreon. Anyway, let's talk about the show. Let's talk about the actual TV series. And I gotta be honest, like I said, I really do like it. The animation, I know some people are saying the animation is like janky. I don't see it personally. I see it more as, I really do see it as more of a stylistic choice. And I didn't see any jank at all. I know some people are like, well, the CGI is just a little out there. I'm just happy they didn't go with the same animation as, because I was so goddamn worried for a hot second until I saw like character designs and whatnot. I was so goddamn worried we were gonna get that stupid CGI like blobby animation we got for What If. That's why I never really bothered. Like What If season 1, I had to power through because the animation just felt so goddamn low effort, and I didn't even bother with the other 2 seasons of What If. In fact, Jason told me, and I guess I'll just spoil it for you now, because who gives the fuck, about this thing at all, is that apparently in What If Season 3, they basically said that Captain Carter and her team of interdimensional heroes destroyed the Council of Kangs off-screen. Like, wow! Man, they really wanted to make way for Doctor Doom real fast, didn't they? Like, they just wanted to get the Council of Kangs out the fucking way real fast. So, yeah. But, yeah, I really... now, the other thing that really surprised me, because I originally thought this original pitch was it was going to be like Peter in his early years in the MCU. But it looks like the show took on a completely different life afterwards. Like, from what I understand is that was the original pitch, was that this was MCU Peter Parker, but the show basically was going to be Spider-Man in his early years, like a Spider-Man Year Zero kind of story, but now it's become its own thing, so it's not connected to the MCU. Which is fine. I kind of like that. Although I will admit, I just want a new Spider-Man cartoon that isn't Spider-Man in his early years. Like, one of the things that made Spectacular Spider, and I hate to harp on it, but yeah, Spectacular Spider-Man good was that it was like Spider-Man post, like, year 1. Like, he just got, like, this is like a year 2 Spider-Man. I don't need an early year Spider-Man every time. Like, would it kill anyone? Would it kill major corporations to, like, give us a Spider-Man show that is like Pete in his college years and not going through high school. Can we have like a Spider-Man cartoon that is just him in college or trying to struggle being a millennial in this day and age in New York? Would it be so hard? In fact, we'd probably get more people connecting with Spider-Man trying to pay the rent while also fighting Green Goblin. Anyway, I digress. But no, I will say though, I do really like the costume. I like how it feels very it feels like very thrown together, and Peter trying to find his voice. I imagine the season 1 ending. I think this won't be the series ending, but it will be the season 1 ending, is where we get Peter in the classic red and blue costume. I think that's where they're gonna season 1 will be Peter finally coming into himself and getting the red and blue costume for season 1. But yeah, let's talk about some other things real fast. We do see that Peter fights what I can assume is this version's Molten Man, because he's using fire, and I'm like, well, the only Spider-Man villain I can think of was Molten Man who did that. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be Molten Man. We also get a quick look at Speed Demon, and we also get to see Norman Osborn giving him the white and black suit. Could that be the Anti-Venom suit, or a variant? I think it's a variation, or a cool variation of the Future Foundation costume when Spider-Man was part of the FF. But it's also Carlton Domingo, I think, is Norman's voice actor. I already like him. I already like Carlton Domingo as Norman already. I think he's going to be a solid voice for him. And I can't wait to see what Green Goblin's going to be like. Again, I think they're going to build that up. But for right now, Norman's going to be manipulating Peter to work for him while he's also making all these experiments. That'll be cool to see. The other thing that we do know is that Charlie Cox is going to be Daredevil in this series, which I'm very excited for. I can't wait to see, Daredevil is making a big comeback, and Charlie Cox is Daredevil, so it's going to be really cool to see him be a part of this show. I'm very excited for that. And it does make me wonder of who else is going to make an appearance. We do know Cap is in this universe and and has hung out with Norman. So, yeah. I also think it was a very smart idea to make this show outside of the MCU. I think that's what also delayed it, was that they were were going to put it as early year MCU, but then changed it so it wouldn't have any canonical errors, or maybe Disney and Sony just didn't like that idea and scrapped it. I've heard both things, and both are basically possible. But yeah, I think that was the smarter idea. It was a much smarter idea to put it as its own continuity, because then you do run into canonical errors in early MCU, because then it's okay, so why hasn't this Norman Osborn become the Green Goblin yet? And also, why are all these other villains out here that the Avengers haven't bothered with? Or Spider-Man would have gotten, and also, Peter, when Tony finds him in Civil War, he had only been Spider-Man for I think only 3 months, 3 to 6 months. So I don't know if you can tell if this show gets more than 1 season. I don't know how much show you can put 5 seasons in 3 to 6 months. So yeah, I do think that was the smarter idea it was the much better idea to make it its own show. And it does make me excited of what are the other villains we're going to see. We know Ock's going to be in this show. We know, I think they said Vulture too, and the Spot, if I'm not mistaken, but I definitely that was more than likely Molten Man with the fire. Or a variant of him, and Speed Demon. But I do, like I said, I do know Ock and Vulture are in the show. I heard Spot as well. And yeah, I'm very curious. I'm very excited for this series. I think it's going to be a great... It also, I was surprised they're swearing. I thought this was going to be directed more at kids, but no. There's literally someone who says, dumbass in the costume. And I was like, oh... This show's going to be for an slightly older audience. Neat. I like that. So I'm very excited for this show. The problem, like I said, is that it doesn't feel like Disney's giving this barely any fanfare. And I know what you're thinking. Well, the show's not out until the end of January, so maybe they're saving all their stuff for that. And I'm like, no, Disney, they rolled out the red carpet for X-Men 97. And I know that's like for nostalgia bait and whatever, but like it really does feel like they have modicum of a fuck to give about this show. And maybe that's just me overthinking it, but like it really does feel like since Disney doesn't own the animation rights fully to Spider-Man, they have to play nice with Sony, that they're just being mean-spirited about it. But who knows? I'm not a big executive, I'm just a comic book fan. And also, I will throw this out in the ring. I think we will be getting a trailer for... and again, I could be totally wrong. I could be 100% wrong about this, but I absolutely... but I'm going to predict right now, we're going to get our first trailer for Fantastic Four at the end of the year. By either in the next few days, I'm going to say we're going to get our first trailer either tomorrow or New Year's Eve. We're going to get our first trailer for Fantastic Four First Steps. Again, I could be totally wrong and they just save the trailer for Super Bowl, for like the Super Bowl lineup. That could easily happen as well. But they have been making a lot of like heavy hints at Fantastic Four and maybe a trailer coming soon. But again, I could be totally wrong and they dropped the first trailer for Super Bowl for the Super Bowl time slot. But again, who knows? Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of the trailer for Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man? Did you guys like it, hate it? Comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.